The center of Palmero, the four quarters.
No tengo cambio. Sobre, no.
Nella cattedrale. Piazza della Vergogna.
High in the hills on the road. Entering the Roman villa here, enormous place with amazing mosaics. You can see the reconstruction of part of the entrance. Grand Villa, maybe one of the joint emperors may have owned it. This gives you an idea of the size of the place. We've just taken a photograph of peristyle ovoid, but you can see how huge this palace was, with fabulous mosaics. At the thermal complex, the Collade area and Laconium, and you can see here on the ground the steam, well, the place for the fires and water to go into the building. Now you see the risen floor with the mosaics on top of the mosaic floor, the steam passing underneath through the brick area. The raised brick area. You can see here the mosaics in the cold room. In the cold room, fantastic mosaics. Acrobats, maybe people finishing games. No, that's the thing they used to take the oil with and rub your skin with the oil. Maybe here is a masseur or a doctor looking after a patient. Again, part of the complex, the ovoid building, octanical building, with the fabulous mosaics on the floor, so well preserved. The floor mosaic represents the Circus Maximus of Rome and the famous race, with a race actually in progress. Incredible. Now inside the Peristyle Palace complex, absolutely incredible mosaics again, filled with mosaics. The floors everywhere, as you would expect the floors, I imagine, yes. But still, quite incredible. Was that the emperor? Not sure. Possibly a joint emperor. Certainly needed a few bob to build one of these. The animals on the floor on mosaics recognise: the right, the goat; the left, not quite sure, hyena maybe. There is a wild boar, wild pig. There, goats, antelope, maybe bull. It looks a bit like a reindeer, maybe. Next, a cat, a lion. Looks like a lion to me, or a leopard, maybe. Yeah, leopard. It's got spots. So it's the third room of the apartment, private apartment. What you could do with a few slaves. Maybe more than a few. The third room of the apartment, private apartment. What you could do with a few slaves. Maybe more than a few. An idealized portrait of the villa. Everything seems to be going in roses. They didn't realise the Vandals were on the way. Or maybe they did. Called the Room of the Small Hunt. Looks like a pretty big hunt to me, but maybe it was small for the time. Missing out some of the amazing rooms, but to get to one of the most famous ones here, the Great Hunt space in the villa. Incredible area of space showing the capture of different animals to be exhibited in the circus in Rome. Can't get in all the mosaics, incredible though they are. That one with a leopard killing an antelope. Amazing. And here is it in the cart, in that box, not sure, carried by oxen. Elephants, I believe. The trunk hasn't changed. What's over there? A giraffe, is it supposed to be? Or a hungry leopard? So there's a tiger next door. Incredible buffalo. There's a rhinoceros. Or two maybe. More and more and more of them. Now we're in the living room, private in character. This is where people would have dinner with their friends. And a magnificent mosaic floor again. Incredible. Again. Can't really get to see the whole thing using this video, but get an idea of the size. Next door, large ducks with unitas, or are they fantasy figures?
The turkey, rice with turkey.
Racing in the boats with angels? Or are they just people dressed as birds? Now we're in the southern part of the palace, and mosaic of musicians, the young musicians. Incredible detail of the instruments they're playing. I think we can recognize some.
This is a place which
This is God Pan. Maybe the angels were cupids. Pan supporter are Maenades and Cites, figures tied to the Dionysian cult. Now we're in the living room, private in character. This is where people would have dinner with their friends. And a magnificent mosaic floor again. Incredible. Again. Can't really get to see the whole thing using this video, but get an idea of the size. Here's the other side of the area. Favourite meeting place. Yeah. The octagonal toilet. Mostly for the use of the master and friends.